So what are some skills that I suggest that you sharpen in order to go from being a good loan officer to a great loan officer? I have about 5, might be more. I think I might have a bonus at the end for you. A little nugget that I might not include in these original ones just to get you to stick around a little bit. But there are some skills that you definitely need to take you from being just a good loan officer to a great loan officer. And they have nothing to do with knowing guidelines, nothing to do with your math skills, but everything to do with who you are and how you navigate situations. These could actually be known as superpowers. So tell me in the comments, what is your superpower? I would love to hear what that is, even if you've only been doing this for a little bit, because everybody, and I do mean everybody, has a superpower. Thing number 1, emotional intelligence. Your emotional intelligence is comprised of really 4 things: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. You didn't really hear people talking about it a whole lot, but now it's everywhere. Emotional intelligence is basically how you handle your emotions. How do you handle your interactions, not just within yourself, but with other people? And how do you navigate relationships with other people? In this business, you're not only interacting and having relationships with your colleagues and co-workers, whether they be in the building with you or on a Zoom call or across the nation. You're also having to navigate relationships with realtors or external third parties, as well as the client. And if you are like me, you get clients from all walks of life, and it's very important to know how to deal with somebody that's 72 versus somebody who's 27. How do you deal with and interact with that 32-year-old that's married that want their mama and their daddy in the transaction? What do you say? How do you say it? A lot of times it's gonna be based honestly on your personality. I'm gonna lie, I can get away with saying some stuff that some other people can't get away with. That's my superpower. I'm authentic, and people know if I say something, I'm not saying it to be rude or to be mean. I'm just telling you the truth. Your mama shouldn't be in this transaction.
No, she does not. Does not.
But nonetheless, your emotional intelligence is a huge skill that nobody ever talks about that could take you from being just a regular good loan officer to being a great loan officer. It's a book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. I will insert a picture somewhere, and I'll also have a link in the description for you in case it's something that you would like to download and listen to. It's a great book. I listen to it annually, and it just gets me to check myself. It gives amazing nuggets. So if you want to know more about emotional intelligence, it's an amazing book for you to listen to. It also allows you to evaluate yourself, and it gives you tools and strategies on what you can do to be able to figure out how to strengthen the areas in that quadrant I just mentioned that you may be weak in. Thing number 2, storytelling skills. So you have got to have the ability to tell stories, and tell stories the right way, and tell stories at the appropriate time. So what do I mean? I'm not saying get on social media and start telling stories about your day and vlogging your day. That's not what I mean. But what I do mean is that in this career, there are a lot of things that's just black and white. But when you are living in that gray area, when you're talking to an underwriter, the ability to make this person that's only a set of data points appear to be a human being is massively critical. Now, they used to tell us this when I was in the consumer direct setting. So if you watching this and you consumer direct and they're like, why don't you have the notes in the file? The notes, put more notes. They really do mean it. You've got to go that extra step to make whoever this person is jump up off your Encompass 1003. You've got to have the ability to humanize this person and explain why they need to get a loan when their debt ratio is 55.9. They probably shouldn't handle it. What argument are you going to make about certain guidelines? What stories can you tell to the client to reassure them of situations that you've encountered in the past to put them at ease so they can sleep that night? Because they go nights without sleeping. What stories can you tell them to make them feel better or to assuage some of their anxiety when they're going through this process? Telling stories is such a big deal. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. The ability to describe the exposition, which is the background, like the setting, the time, like how, oh, this borrower's 4th time applying for a home loan. You know, she graduated from law school 18 months ago. You know, I know on the application it says that she didn't work for 9 months or 6 months or 8 months, but for 6 months she was studying for the bar exam. That sounds like school to me. You have to be able to explain, where did you get your thinking from? Why do you interpret the guideline the way that you interpret the guideline? You gotta be able to tell this story and make it so compelling, make it so rich, make it make sense to people that are in opposition of you. Make it make sense. Why does this client need to go with you when your closing costs are $1,000 higher than the other person? Why does this borrower need to believe that you know what you're doing? What stories can you pull out your toolbox that says, I got it going on, don't play with me? What are the stories that you're going to be able to tell? Telling stories is so important to have as a skill set, because I guarantee you, when it comes to escalating a situation and being able to really fully describe what's going on, how, why did we get here? Why are we here? Why are you talking to the manager about this person? Tell the story. Get good at understanding how to make a person be a full person to somebody that does not know them. These are real people. They are dynamic characters. That means they have kids, they got backgrounds, they got hobbies, they got all kind of things that you can use to describe why they are getting this loan. It's a very, very big deal, and it's a very, very, very underrated skill in this profession. Thing number 3. You all might know this about me. I was a journalism major when I went to A&T. Shout out Aggie Pride. I was a journalism major, and being in journalism, you learn how to interview people. So thing number 3 is your interviewing skills. When you get on the phone with somebody, knowing to ask the right questions up front is very, very, very important between realizing you are telling the truth or half truth or a whole lie. Having the ability to ask questions that maybe that last loan officer didn't ask the client, listen for things in their answers, those interviewing skills that you have to determine whether or not this is the right client for you, or the right client for your company, or the right client for the loan program that you're trying to put them in, is extremely critical. You're not just asking yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You need to ask whole questions to get the whole answer, because child, they be lying. And if you are a borrower and you watching this, y'all be lying. Okay, as a loan professional, it is very important sometimes to slow down to speed up. You gotta go slow to go fast, and that going slow part is asking the questions, taking that 45 minutes or taking that hour to get the whole story, the whole background, and really digging deep to understand, well, why the other 2 people deny you? Why the other 3 people deny you? What did you tell them? What did you tell them differently than what you told me? Are you adjusting your story now that you're the third? This is the third person that you talked to? Have you changed anything? And really, really digging in to figure out what is going on, because I'm definitely very loud about telling people. I'd rather tell you no and lose the business sometimes if I feel like that what's gonna happen is gonna emotionally drag you all the way through the process. I don't ever want to be responsible for scarring someone in this process because it's so emotional. I don't want that. I'm just gonna be very honest with you. I would love to be able to give a loan to everybody. That's why I'm not an underwriter. Emotionally dragging people is just not what I do. When I was in a consumer direct setting, again, shout out to consumer direct. If you're watching this, I always want to try to include y'all because I used to hate when people would never give advice on videos to us. I'm like, we loan officers too, what's up? But when I was in consumer direct, baby, let me tell you something. My goal was to get you off the phone as fast as I could. What's wrong with you? Why don't you qualify? I really was. It's a little bit different being on a retail side because now I'm searching for reasons to say yes, but it still don't change anything. The fact of the matter is you got to get straight to the heart of what it is that you need, what it is that you're looking for. What's wrong with your income? Why did you change jobs? Who told you that they was gonna count your overtime and they didn't? What did they tell you? Why? Call them back and ask them. Get in there as fast as you can. Get in and get out. That's how I used to operate in a call center. But like I said, now it's a little bit slower. But again, those interviewing skills, very, very, very underrated in the ability of a loan officer. It takes you, I promise you, from being a good loan officer to a great loan officer. Imagine, closing an extra 3 loans and making an extra $10,000 for the year just because you asked 3 or 4 extra questions that nobody else bothered to ask. I'm very serious when I say that. These interviewing questions, big, 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 big deal. Thing number 4, the answers that you get from these questions are going to require you to have discernment. You are going to have a gut feeling about people. You already have a gut feeling about people as you interact day to day. And your gut feeling has nothing to do with their person's race or their ethnicity or their age or their gender or all this protected class stuff. Nothing to do with that. But everything to do with what you are listening to and what you are seeing on documentation. What do they say? See something, say something.
If you see something, say something.
That's very true in this. If you see something, it does not feel right, you need to say something. You need to ask some follow-up questions. And I mean, not surface level questions. I had a loan that closed. It was a veteran. The veteran bought the house, closed on the house. And I remember at the closing, I got a feeling. Something was weird to me. The transaction was fine, and I mean, we jumped through all kind of hoops to get this done, but something was weird. Somebody came to the closing that wasn't involved in the transaction, and it just, it's like, what you doing here? You talking a whole lot. Talking a little bit too much. So fast forward about 7-8 months, the person called me on the phone, was like, hey, I got a referral for you. Are you still doing loans? And I happened to ask, just being polite, hey, how are you enjoying your home? This person that just got this loan from me a couple months back, like I said, 6, 7, 8 months ago, was like, oh, I don't live there.
Wow, this is getting good.
What you mean you don't live there? Oh, I don't live there anymore. I said, oh, did you never live there? Now, mind you, I'm friendly tone, I'm kikiing, okay? Because I didn't want to let them know that I'm like, something ain't right. Oh, what, did you not move in at all? Oh, no, I got tenants in there right away. I didn't even have to fix it up. Remember that feeling, that discernment that I talked about? Something wasn't right months before. I didn't know it throughout the whole transaction, but like I said, at that closing table, I was like, So guess what? The same person is now calling me that just told me that they lied on the loan application, is wanting to refer me to somebody, and is very involved in the beginning of this process. I used my same discernment and I escalated the situation. And the person did not get along with us. I won't get into all the deets or anything like that, but you gotta understand, when you see something that's off, you need to raise your hand, you need to say something. Because the worst thing in the world is to have gotten involved in that situation, acted like I didn't know nothing going on, and closed 2 transactions for somebody that was being dishonest. Because now I look like I'm complicit. I look like I'm a part of this. The audacity of that individual to return to the scene of the crime. Good God almighty, though. The balls on... Anyway, the point of the story is you need to be able to discern if somebody's being honest with you, you need to be able to discern whether or not you are compatible with this person, especially when somebody's saying, oh, I'm on my 4th realtor, I'm on my 3rd realtor, oh, nobody wants to help me, oh, they wouldn't call me back. That is a big red flag, and you need to pay attention to those red flags. Discernment, that gut feeling. Ladies, we have it more often than men do. So I think that is something that helps to make us slightly more successful in this job. Follow that feeling, but you need to follow that feeling with evidence. So if you never want it to come back on you that you are mistreating somebody or what have you, you need to always document these instances. What didn't line up? What did they say before that now it don't make sense? You know, what's up with this pay stub? Why your pay stub say that you wash windows and you get paid $75,000 a year? That's odd. That seems to be askew. What's going on here? You need to be able to talk to the client. Don't let them know that you think something wrong. But use that spirit of discernment, that gut feeling, that this ain't right. What's up? Use it to your advantage. But again, this is something can't nobody teach you. Nobody can sit down and teach you to have a gut feeling about something. It's just something that comes naturally. It's something that comes with experience. And it's something that comes with common sense. Now, I ain't include common sense on here, but just know you need to have some common sense about yourself. Thing number 5, and I do have a bonus. Thing number 5 is the gift of I'm telling. Let me tell you about me.
Trust me, you gotta hear this.
Baby, if you give me an answer that I don't like, I'm gonna go ask somebody else. And if I don't like their answer, I'm gonna go ask somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else. I'm telling. If you calculated that income and it didn't fall in the favor of my client, if it don't align with what I think makes sense, and you can't really explain to me why your way makes more sense than mine, I'm telling. Let me get on this laptop. I'm finna CC your manager right now. I'm telling everybody. I'm telling anybody, and everybody's gonna listen. And I'm gonna tell you this about me. And this is a fact. And anybody that's watching this that worked at SunTrust with me when I was in Consumer Direct, y'all, telling y'all, Consumer Direct, shout out to y'all in this video. I'm talking to y'all a whole lot. They would tell you, I would listen to somebody's story. I'd be like, hey, hold on a second. I would ask the 3 people in my little quad, hey, why can't we so-and-so? Do we such and such? What about, hey, what you think about so-and-so and such and such? I ain't like none of their answers. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna call you back. And I'm a shop. I was gonna shop for the answer that I liked the most. And I was gonna go back to that storytelling that I told you earlier, and I was gonna piece that thing together to make it make sense and present them on a beautiful platter to the underwriter so they could get a loan. I would never forget, it was a lady. She wanted to refinance the house that she was currently living in as her primary residence. She wanted to refinance, and on the credit report, it had a code that said that foreclosure proceedings had started. Well, big whoop-de-doo, because the foreclosure proceedings had started like 4 years before, and the lady was living in the house. She had a 700 and something credit score. She'd made all her payments for like 3 years. What you mean she can't get a loan? Oh, well, she's got to wait the 7 years because it's a conventional loan. Bullshit. No, she does not. I don't like that answer. Let me ask some more people. Baby, when I tell you, I told everybody, anybody who would listen to me, I escalated that thing. I kept going up higher and higher and higher and higher. No, I don't like any of these answers. What you're telling me does not make any sense. I'm telling. I bet you she got that refinance. So, the gift of I'm telling. Don't be scared to tell on people. You're not well, I mean, yeah, you might be telling on them, but you doing it for the benefit of the client. You know, you're changing their finances, you're changing their financial trajectory of their life if they're purchasing a home. So, the gift of I'm telling it gets you real far every single time. And here's the bonus one. This one, I think is pretty good. Can you handle pressure? Do you fold? Do you crack under pressure? Because you will find yourself in some pretty high tense, high pressure situations sometimes. And baby, I'm telling you, it ain't what you want. Imagine being on the phone with a customer that is in the state of Virginia. You tell them no, they get in their car at 8 a.m. They drive down. They Google where you work. They pop up at your office, find a way to get in the building, come up the elevator, get off the elevator, slide in the door because somebody's coming out and they come in and they like, hey, where's so-and-so? Huh? Hey, does so-and-so work here? Uh-oh. Imagine that person that you just denied over the phone, and you might have been a little rough with them, been a little mean to them. They done drove for hours coming to see you. What you gonna do? How you gonna handle that? Pressure. Now that is a very true story. It did not happen to me, but it happened to a manager that I used to have. They came to see about him. They did. Indeed. And he said he was terrified. He said the lady had her hand in her purse the whole time. He didn't know what to do. If you don't know how to handle pressure, this ain't for you. It's not for you. The ability to be able to stay cool, calm, collected, handling the pressure of people blowing up your phone, trying to bully you into situations, the pressure of, oh God, I really got to get this bill paid. I don't know, do I need to be doing this loan? Should I? Putting yourself in a situation where you are putting yourself above the needs of the client, that's a pressure. That's pressure because you're never supposed to do that. Handling pressure, because baby, I'm telling you, in this career, pressure busts pipes. Listen, when I tell you, it is not a game out here. Pressure gets to be pretty intense when it comes to, can you eat this month? You know, are you getting a paycheck this month? Is this realtor gonna be so upset with you because you're not giving them the answer that they like, to the point where they're not gonna want to work with you again? Telling somebody, you know, no, that originally you told them yes. There is a lot of pressure, and if you can't handle the pressure, you need to find something else to do, because it can definitely become very, very, very intense. So be really careful out there. But I'm telling you, these skills, they pay the bills, but can't nobody teach you any of what I just said. Nobody can adjust your temperament to be able to handle pressure. You have to learn how to do that. A lot of the things that I'm telling you, or that I just mentioned, will take you from being a good loan officer to being a great loan officer. And so often when I find myself in these situations where I'm like, okay, I'm not good at that, I don't want to deliver bad news, because I'm gonna tell you now, if I can pass the buck to a manager to deliver bad news, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it every single time. Yes, I am. Yes. That spirit of I'm telling, I be like, ooh, I'm gonna tell my manager, hey, can you call the client and tell them? I have seen some of the best to ever do it. Some people that I respect, not only on a local level, but as my career ascends and I get to know more people and I attend more conferences and I'm involved in more committees, I get to meet even more impressive people. And I mean, I'm learning as much as I can, but this stuff can't be taught. So if you got it, you got it. It's kind of one of those things. But I assure you, if you got any of these things that I'm telling you, you will be great. Y'all have a great day.